Today, we're diving into a really powerful, maybe even challenging idea from the psychologist Carl Jung. And it's this: your life doesn't really begin until you find your true self. So what on earth does that actually mean? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with a question, and I want you to just sit with this for a moment. Is the life you're living right now truly your own? It's a pretty unsettling thought, isn't it? The idea that maybe your decisions, your beliefs, might not have come from the deepest part of who you are?
You know, for most of us, life is kind of like a script written by what society expects, by how we were raised, or maybe by those quiet fears that are always whispering in the back of our minds. We end up playing a role, and we get so good at it that we forget we're even acting. But deep down, there's this nagging feeling that something just isn't right, something's missing.
Jung actually had a name for the process of tearing up that script. He called it individuation. And this isn't just about a little bit of self-awareness. No, this is the huge, transformative, psychological journey of becoming who you were always meant to be. And that journey? It starts by looking directly at the parts of yourself that you've kept hidden away.
So where do we even begin? Well, this journey inward starts by understanding two really core concepts: the mask and the shadow. Think of this as the very first layer we need to peel back.
First up, we all have what Jung called the persona. The easiest way to think about it is as your public face. It's the mask you put on to fit in, to get people to like you, to basically get by in the world. Now, it's totally necessary for navigating society, but the real danger kicks in when we start to believe that the mask is our actual face.
And, well, if the persona is what we proudly show the world, the shadow is everything we desperately try to hide from it. It's like this vault where we lock away anything we've ever been taught to be ashamed of: our fears, our insecurities, those unacceptable desires. But here's the most important part. That vault also holds our greatest untapped potential and our most hidden strengths.
So you've got this fundamental split, right? The persona is the conscious public you, always looking for acceptance. The shadow is its total opposite. It's unconscious, it's hidden, and it contains all the stuff we've pushed away. The key thing to get here is that one cannot exist without the other. They're two sides of the same coin.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had this really strong, almost irrational dislike for someone? Jung would probably say that's your shadow at work. We tend to project the very traits we deny in ourselves onto other people. So that thing that drives you crazy about them, it might just be a disowned piece of you staring back. And this all leads to one of Jung's most powerful insights. The goal here isn't to get rid of the shadow, to somehow destroy it. No way. Real psychological growth, real freedom comes from turning around, facing it, and learning how to integrate its power and its lessons into your conscious life. All right, so once we start to get a handle on our personal mask and our personal shadow, Jung tells us to go even deeper, way beyond our own individual story. He suggests that we're all influenced by these universal patterns, what we can think of as the blueprints of you.
Jung came up with this pretty revolutionary idea that underneath our own personal unconscious, there's a collective unconscious. Just imagine it like a shared psychic inheritance for all of humanity. A massive database of human experience that's been passed down for generations, connecting every single one of us.
And living inside this collective database are the archetypes. These are the universal blueprints for all our experiences. They're these ancient, instinctual patterns that basically structure our imagination and shape how we live, whether we have any idea they're there or not.
And these archetypes are alive inside you, right now. You've got the hero, the part of you that pushes you to take on challenges. We've already met the shadow, holding all your hidden parts, but there's also the wise mentor, which is your inner voice of wisdom, and the innocent child, your amazing capacity for joy and wonder. Just recognizing them is the first step to using their power.
Jung also talked a lot about the anima and animus archetypes. He believed every man has a sort of hidden feminine energy, the anima, and every woman has a hidden masculine, the animus. See, becoming whole isn't about sticking to rigid gender roles. It's about integrating these amazing complementary energies of intuition and logic, of connection and action, right inside ourselves.
So we've looked at our personal layers, we've looked at the universal blueprints inside of us, but there's one last and maybe the toughest hurdle on this journey, and that's confronting the illusion of self.
Here it is. The single biggest thing holding you back from finding yourself is this deeply held belief that you are a single fixed thing.
that your personality, your history, your name, that this is the whole story. But Jung argues that's just a tiny fraction of the truth.
He made a huge distinction between the ego, that's the small, separate I that's always afraid and clinging to labels, and the true self. The self is the totality of you. It's the vast, limitless consciousness that includes everything, your persona, your shadow, all the archetypes. It's the entire ocean, and the ego is just one tiny wave on the surface.
So, wow. That's a lot to take in, I know. What do we actually do with all this? How do we go from a cool theory to a totally different reality? Well, that's what this is all about. It's about recognizing that your journey, your real journey, begins right now. Okay, first, start to embrace the unknown with curiosity, not with fear. Second, release your death grip on labels. You are not your job. You are not your past. Third, start listening to the messages from your unconscious, your dreams, those gut feelings. They're your compass. And finally, just surrender to the process. This isn't a race with a finish line. It's a lifelong journey of unfolding.
And I just want to leave you with this one last really powerful thought. The ultimate secret of this whole journey is that you were never actually lost to begin with. The whole complete self you've been searching for, it's been inside you this entire time, just waiting for you to finally turn inward and remember.